Hi there, I'm Brian and welcome to Project Redleaf, my video series of building a sugar shack, nature center, and family pavilion 3000, also known as a shed. In today's edition, I'm going to walk through how I built these cupola doors and then all the other progress I've done so far for building this sugar shack. I'm also going to talk about all the work that's left to come. Let's get to it. Well, after getting all the roofing paper on, I got the starting strip around the perimeter of the roof, and I started to shingle and shingle and shingle and shingle. I needed to shingle the roof first before I could put the cupola doors on, and the nail gun, the roofing nail gun, was the best purchase yet. I'm up on the roof and I'm completing the cupola shingles. Here's how I'm doing it. There's an owl back there. Okay. So what I have is I put my starter strip on, I got my drip edge in, and now I gotta lay out the shingles. This is pretty easy how it runs. Let's do it up. Here's one of the things that I've learned. When you go up the steps of the shingles, I'm making like a little ladder here, or I'm stepping up. With each row, you wanna go a little bit shorter because you don't wanna have a seam on an existing gap here. You can see here's the edge of two shingles. Here's where the seam is. The trick is you do not want a nail where there's going to be a gap between shingles. Check this out. So when I nail this in, I put 5 nails in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I make a little bit of a space on the edge for the next row of shingles, because when I do that and I lay this here where it's supposed to go, notice how there's no nail between this gap? That, ladies and gentlemen, is how to shingle a roof. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing this step. I'm going to keep leaving a gap, and I'm going to get it in. I'm going off the edge a little bit because it's the drip edge. Leave a little bit of a gap. This is a smaller one, so I can get away with not having as many nails, but there you go. Next row. Hello, Mr. Bears. Just 2 days after I completed the doors and the windows and sealing the building, we got a family of bears that came to visit. It was really good timing. I made the doors by attaching plywood to the T111 siding to give it extra strength. Then I just cut out holes for the windows, and I got these shed windows that provide just the right amount of light for the cupola, and it looks fantastic. This is a better camera angle than up there in the cupola where I'm balancing 1 foot on a beam. Probably not the safest place for me to be, but here we are. The trim is up on the windows. The roof is shingled. I just need to put the ridge cap on, and then I'll be totally done with the roof. And then what's left for the outside of the building, other than painting, I still got to get the trim around the windows and the cupola. And I got to get the trim on the side of the cupola and the trim that goes on the gable ends there. And then it's going to look fantastic. So the big question is, what do I paint this thing? And I need your help. Give me your opinion. Put it in the comments below. And I'm not saying that to increase the views. Let's just agree that I don't have a lot of views, and that's okay. But I want to give back to the YouTube community. But I'm really genuinely interested in what color you think works the best. My wife and I are leaning toward colors that blend in with the forest. And while we like the pop of white trim and a maroon look, it might not blend too well with the forest. So we shall see. Leave your comments below. Let me see what you think. So what's next for this project? Well, I definitely need to clean these buckets. Those buckets have been sitting there for like a month and a half, 2 months straight. So it's time for me to clean them now that I got the water turned on, that it's warmed up here in Connecticut. Once I get those clean, I'll put them inside the sugar shack where they'll be stored once and for all. Then I'm gonna get started on the pavilion pretty soon, and I'm hoping to break ground on the pavilion in about 2-3 weeks. maybe sooner, maybe later, who knows. And then I gotta put power into the building. How the power ran, I got to hook up the sub panel and get that totally installed. And then it's going to be time for an inspection pretty soon. I got to do smaller items. I got a punch list. I got to put the pulleys up for the cupola. I got to finish putting foam insulation around the doors and the windows. It's coming along. It's been a journey. I started this in September, and today it's May 9th, and I'm still working on it. And I probably have, I don't know, few more months. You know what? Don't even ask me how much more time I have left, because I'm going to be wrong. My time estimates have been so wrong on this project. I'm doing the best I can, but I'm making progress and it's getting there. Well, with that, we'll end it here for this edition. Thank you as always for joining me in my journey, and thanks for watching. Is this not the best introduction for a video? I mean, I'm standing on a beam in the middle of the sugar shack, holding onto a string, which is holding onto a door. I think it's adorable. Adorable. Oh, okay. Maybe I gotta let a few steam out. No. Oh boy, this door is pretty heavy.